Komaeda relaxed into the water with a pleasant sigh, then turned to paddle towards the deep end. When he reached the wall, Hinata watched him paddle back slowly. Do you want to race? Komaeda laughed and took a deep breath. I'm already a little tired from that, so let's just say you won. Okay, I won. There was another long silence. Let's play rock, paper, scissors. Hinata blurted out before he really stopped to think about it. Oh, are you sure, Hinata-kun? Being questioned made it seem like a bad idea, but it was too late to back out now. Yeah, why not? I can't think of anything else. Well, alright. Best 2 out of 3. Ready? Best 1 out of 6. That doesn't mean anything. What does that mean? If you win at all, you win. Okay, whatever. Let's just go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot! What the heck, really? Scissors. Scissors, how scary. Well. Komaeda gently rocked through Hinata's fingers, destroying his snippers like a child smashing action fingers together. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. What if I click scissors again? I'm gonna choose paper. Dang! Paper can be powerful too, but not more powerful than this, I suppose. Snip. Hinata's paper suffered a devastating blow. 2 in a row doesn't mean anything. For this 6 games, I'm gonna choose scissors again. Are you trying to kill me? Hinata's scissors shattered under Komaeda's fist. What if I choose scissors again? Are you secretly a serial killer or something, Hinata-kun? No. Please don't point those at me. Komaeda smashed his scissors to bits, probably in self-defense. Okay, I'll choose rock. Hinata half-heartedly made a rock. It was snuffed out like a candle. Sorry, Hinata-kun's rock. You have one more turn, but it's probably pointless to continue. Here, I'll give you a hint. What? A hint? A rock, paper, scissors? Well, a big hint. I'm going to throw scissors next. Are you serious? That's not a hint. Then let's play. Rock, paper, scissors. What about the scissors? Of course you assumed I was lying. I guess it seems suspicious to tell you the answer, but please try to believe in me for once. Okay, then I'll just do rock. Alright. I just want to see what happened if I chose scissors as well. After being literally told the answer, it seemed dumb to pick anything else. Okay. Hinata kept his fists firm and steady and harshly whispered, rock, as he prepared to actually beat Komaeda. A bug, some kind of horrible bug, landed on Hinata's rock. Well, on his thumb. It was black and fierce, and he could swear it looked bloodthirsty. He made a high-pitched squeak as his other hand erupted out of the water to slap it. Komaeda jumped, startled by the sudden motion, and when the drop settled, Hinata looked down at his hands. He accidentally thrown paper, bro. And Komaeda's scissor gesture melted away, and he grabbed Hinata's fist. Hinata-kun, are you hurt? He checked his palm for a gruesome sight, but the bug had apparently escaped, though not before leaving a tiny red bite mark on him. What the heck? I think I'm fine. Sorry, Hinata-kun. Let's not play any more games, okay? Yeah, I get it. Wow. Even though he had won all 6 rounds, Komaeda still looked kind of defeated. Are you gonna make me do a penalty? Terror seized him, and his brain formed a collage of horrors pasted together with regret. Komaeda's shoulders slumped. I think you've been punished enough. It was just a bug. Because it was just rock, paper, scissors. Sorry, Hinata-kun, it was selfish of me to agree to this. Oh. Huh? It was my idea, though. Well, don't worry about it too much, Hinata offered. Komaeda nodded, and the sounds of the night in the pool and the wind and the trees crept back in on them and lingered. When they first met, Hinata had considered Komaeda easy to talk to. He was still as talkative as ever, so Hinata briefly wondered if lulls in conversation were somehow his fault. It's definitely not my fault. While Komaeda launched, Hinata turned and started inspecting the pool itself. He found the source of the churning waters and entertained himself by shoving his fingers into one of the jets on the wall. He was pushing water out so hard that it rippled against his skin, and it was quite satisfying to plug it up completely. Alright. He heard the motor strain as the other jets worked harder to compensate, pulsing and powerfully breaking the surface every time he did it. This is nice, isn't it? Hinata didn't look up. What's nice? We don't need pointless small talk to spend time with each other. He could tell from the tone of his voice that Komaeda smiled when he said it. But he was always smiling, wasn't he? Is this his way of getting me to start a conversation? Sorry, I don't really know what else to talk about with you. And I didn't mean to say it quite so bluntly, but that's how it came out. He kept playing with the jet. There was a small splash, maybe the sound of his hands dropping into the water. I really meant it, Hinata-kun. I actually like when it's quiet. It's comfortable. Maybe not for you, though. He let out a half-hearted little laugh. Now he really didn't know what to say. Hinata crammed his finger all the way into the jet, and the others groaned as they strained to pump out more water. He had the overwhelming sensation that someone should be scolding him for this behavior, and the thought was distracting him enough that he didn't notice Komaeda had slumbered behind him until he heard him speaking softly over his shoulder. Oh, Hinata still expected it to be a scolding. I'm sorry that there's not much to do with me when we're in a public place. He was alarmingly close suddenly. Hinata felt one finger running slowly down the length of his spine underwater, stopping just above the waistband of his suit. I'm sure it's shameful to even be seen talking with me. The tip of his finger dipped below the elastic to rub at Hinata's hip bone, and some extremely untrustworthy part of him wanted to forget where they were and slam Komaeda against the towel and return it tenfold. Ooh. After all, he couldn't say anything if Hinata's tongue was in his mouth. I swear I did not ship this to you at all. I don't understand the ship at all, but you know, that had always been part of the appeal. I'm still not finna be a Hajime and Nagito shipper after this, but this is still entertaining. But the logical part of him, the tiny part of him that was exceptionally good at skateboarding, held his urges at bay. Hinata whipped around to face him, his back to the jet, hoping it would wash away the lingering feeling of touch. It's not that I'm ashamed to talk to you. His voice was awfully quiet for someone who wasn't ashamed. But is unable to bring himself to say any more. His mouth shut, his eyes slightly pleading with Komaeda to just back up a little bit. His couch was so close and it was almost bedtime anyway. They should probably get out so they could. But Komaeda backed off and air returned to Hinata's lungs. We can get out of the pool if you want, Hinata-kun. I was about to suggest it myself. He exhaled and relief, comforted in a rare moment that their thoughts and plans actually lined up. He moved to stand up again, but a warmth stirring in the pit of his stomach stopped him. He almost groaned audibly. It was already too late. He shivered as the chill current flowed through the mesh of his swimsuit, feeling colder than before over his heated skin. The jet stream continued to pummel into his back, but it still did nothing. I'm sorry, but it still did nothing, dull the tingling sensation left where Komeda's fingers had been. He had forgotten to bring a towel, of course, and the now taut fabric of his swimsuit wasn't doing him any favors. He swallowed and sank back slowly. You can go first. Are you alright? But no way I'm getting out of the water with this. I'm fine. You can go ahead of me. He sputtered out, but he could tell Komeda knew. He always knew. He could see it in his eyes when they widened just a little, and Hinata was already shaking his head when Komeda opened his mouth again. If you need any help, you can always ask me. Hinata thought about what help from Komeda usually entailed when they were alone together, and what does that mean? And choked back a scandalized gasp. His gaze settled on Komeda's smile, lips parted slightly. Hinata already knew what he looked like on his knees. Hold up. Why are you acting so shy if y'all have done stuff together already? Why? But this... What was he thinking? Not to mention, you can't hold your breath for that long. Hinata's voice cracked, much to his horror. Komeda's brow furrowed for a moment in confusion, then furrowed further in realization. Oh my gosh. Hinata, first of all, you seem a little on the edge, so even with my limited lung capacity, I wouldn't jump to any conclusions. Second of all, that isn't what I meant anyway. Through the current, Hinata saw the wobbly shapes that made up the other boy's form shift, then felt toes curling over the waistband of his swimsuit, tugging it away from his skin just enough to let fresh cold water drift over his stomach. Hinata propelled himself backward with one hand stroke of his arms, and Komeda, having lost the support, sank back with a startled laugh. No way, Hinata hissed. Anyone looking could tell that you're doing stuff underwater. The surface is choppy enough for plausible deniability, I think. Komeda shrugged and looked around. At least I don't believe that anything witnessed through the lens of churning water would hold up as proof in a class trial. What? Okay. Hinata was mumbling so close to the small waves, some of his words became bubbles instead. If someone thinks they saw us something suspicious, then it's already as good as true. You don't to present evidence against Gus. Exactly. Don't you think you're worrying too much over something that isn't even a matter of life or death? Komeda ran one finger thoughtfully over his bottom lip, drawing attention to his mouth again. Oh my gosh. His filthy mouth. Hinata felt like he was much better at arguing when it was really a matter of life or death. He sank down a little further, wishing the tightness of his swimsuit would just go away already. Komeda smiled cheerfully and pressed his back against the wall. I won't even touch you. Then what are you gonna do? Matching Hinata, he also slid further down until only his head and the tops of his shoulders were visible. The chill of the pool was no match for the heat of Hinata's face. He felt like he should have learned better than to play along by now, but perhaps it was because he learned that he lifted his chin to speak. Some help you are then. Excuse me. Kamiata didn't miss a beat. His eyes widened slightly. Have you ever wondered what it would... The question came out soft and low, echoing across the surface of the pool, refracted perfectly by the waves to reach Hinata's ears no further. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I swear, it really looks like I shipped him, but I really don't. I don't know how to explain it. I don't know. It just shattered. The vague subconscious concentration that was keeping Hinata's head above water, and before he knew it, he was sputtering cologne and wiping water out of his eyes. What? It's okay if you have... What?